Hello! Just wanted to make a response video to Vince's topic of the week, the GHP 2017, and what I think of it. Overall, I think it's great. I think it's a really great book, as I did the first one. You know, the price has gone up by about 25% here in Canada. Don't know if it's the same everywhere else, but I would imagine so. But all the content is totally worth it. I don't see it as a cash grab at all. And I don't see any part of the changes they've made to the maximum unit size or any of that as a cash grab, because if you look at it before the original General's Handbook, which came out a year ago, they were selling a lot worse overall, and so they've gone up since then. And I think that these change to the unit size has nothing to do with money. But anyway, I do have a big but coming, and it's their direction overall. Not necessarily specifically with the General's Handbook 2017, but overall. But I would like to say first that I like the new scenarios. I like what they're doing with the points and most of the changes they've made. I like the Triumph and Treachery, I believe it's called, and the other ones, the team games, all of it. Like it really shows a love of what they're doing, and the direction that they're taking overall, I really like. So just get that out of the way. There is a but, and here it is. There are some aspects that I think they're focusing too much on the balance, and that's match play, of course. But the thing about match play that a lot of people sort of, they throw out this, well, you can just play open play. I don't know anyone who plays open play. I don't know a single person. Despite that, I bought the open play cards because I'm hoping to throw it in and do some more narrative stuff and other team games and have some fun. That's my main purpose. But because of that, I don't think they're doing a great job. And I have an example from my background, which is competitive gaming, like Street Fighter and such. The most balanced version of Street Fighter, arguably, but most people would agree, is the newest one. It's Street Fighter V. But does that make Street Fighter V the most fun? No, it certainly doesn't. In fact, a lot of people prefer the older Street Fighter 4s and other games like Guilty Gear, which give you more options and more combos, and there's more wildness to it. And I'm not saying they shouldn't focus on balance. They definitely need to, because that is part of having fun. But this isn't something that people are going to play professionally. This is something that people play for fun. And so I think the primary focus, the main goal, is fun, and then balance, and then everything else. Whatever else is left, I don't know. But here's my example. So the reason that I think that the General's Handbook and match play is going away from fun is because let's take an example. Let's say you're playing Seraphon, which I also play, the Lizardman, and you've got this unit called the Engine of the Gods. Really great looking model, really fun unit to play. And once a turn, you take 3 dice and you roll them, right? And let's pretend that you happen to roll a godlike roll, and you get an 18. That means with the Engine of the Gods that you get to take another turn. It's very powerful. It's overpowered if you happen to get it, obviously, but the odds that you're going to get that dice roll are so low. Can you imagine if when you make this amazing roll that you don't get to do it? They say, oh no, sorry, that's not for match play. That wouldn't be fun. And so there's a couple of aspects that I wish they would change. Like, for instance, in Skaven, which is another race that I play, they have this unit called the Screaming Bell. And they have lowered the cost of it in the General's Handbook, which they needed to, because no one's taking it, and for good reason. But, when it comes to summoning, they have a summoning pool, as they call it, that you should use for any units that are going to be brought afterwards. You have to include them in the total points cost. But if you're rocking something like the Screaming Bell, you make this amazing roll of 2 6s in one roll, right? In the rules, you get a free Vermin Lord. But in match play, you don't. So what are you supposed to do with that rule? I mean, it's just not fun to roll 2d6, happen to get it, and then be like, oh, you should have, included those points in in your total points on the off chance that you're going to happen to roll a 2d6. No one's ever going to do that. It's really kind of silly. And the whole point of rolling the best roll you can get is to get something amazing. But it's, if you haven't allocated points to a Vermin Lord, which is a lot of points, you're probably going to be around 300 points. Vermin Lord Deceiver is my personal favorite, and he's 320 points. So why would you include that on the off chance that 1 out of every 6 games that you're going to happen to roll 2 6s? You're probably not going to do that. And so this is my point. That's not fun. It's not fun to make an amazing roll and then not even have a rule in there, by the way, of what you're supposed to do. But another example, when it comes to, I'm going to choose Skaven because it happens to be Skaven. Like, Skaven are, I think, the funnest race because they have all these fun rules. Roll this dice to find out whether your unit becomes more powerful or destroys itself. It's really janky and really fun. But what's not fun is stuff like that, like the Vermin Lord, for instance, with the Screaming Bell, or another example is something like the way that the clan system works. Overall, it's really quite good. Pestilence, Eshin, Scryer, and Mulder are all quite well done. Some of them need more units, like Eshin and Mulder, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm talking about is Verminus and Master Clan. My personal favorite model in the entire game is Thankful and Bone Ripper. I think it's just this really cool looking, monstrous unit, which you cannot use with a Skaven army per se. You cannot use them you can use Skaven, right? But you can't use any allegiance abilities, which is kind of part of the fun. It's part of the flavor. So I don't know why they didn't choose to just make. And again, this is from last year's. This has nothing to do with the most current iteration, but I almost kind of assumed that they were going to change this kind of thing, because it's like, what are you supposed to do? If you want Thankful and Bone Ripper, you can't even take him as an ally unless you're playing a 2,500 point game, which I've never played before, because 2,000 points, as a lot of people have stated, is the standard. It's what everyone plays. I've played 1,000 point games before, but I've never played a 2,500 point game because it's kind of just too much. It's too long. So you can take, 3 units of Clan Rats, and you can take everything Skaven, but you have no allegiance abilities to use, and you still won't if they come out with a Verminus book, because even Verminus, you're still going. That's still Thankful and Bone Ripper 450 points. That's too many points. So while I agree, I understand, balancing and everything else, and yes, I can play open play and all these other things, but that's just not the reality of it. The reality is everyone's playing match play because that's the base way of getting it to be fair. And the reality is that if you are playing certain units and certain armies like that, the focus is on balance and then fun, whereas I think this game should be more about fun and then about balance, because we are never going to see a perfectly balanced game. If you want a perfectly balanced game, go play chess. I don't know. Chess isn't even perfectly balanced because one side always goes first, and there is a statistical advantage to going first. So, we all play this for fun. None of us plays this professionally that I know of. So I want the focus to be on fun and then balance, and we'll figure it out. But anyway, what do you guys think? Maybe I'm way off base here. This video has gone on far longer than I anticipated or desired, so I'm just going to turn it off now, but let me know if you disagree. Likely, most people probably will. They really want balance to be the key thing because they take it very seriously. And I do too in terms of strategic play, but again, like, what is the point? What do you even do when you roll a 2d6 on your Screaming Bell and you haven't allocated points to a Vermin Lord? Does that just not count? Do you just lose that thing? Do you go 1 down? There's nothing in the rules for it. So anyway, let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed the video.